Tiny and I recently have been discussing how all buttholes are connected throughout our world, but there is one alpha butthole. So when everyone in the world, when they're going number 2 through their butthole, the alpha butthole is also going. So the alpha butthole is always going number 2 at all times, because all of the beta buttholes are going, not at the same time. And when diarrhea happens, is when the transfer of power from the alpha butthole moves on to another.
The shitting.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's happening right now.
Right.
What's happening right now is there's an imbalance in the world, and there's so many that are fighting for dominance, fighting to be the alpha. Oh, that's got to upset the balance of nature.
So many alphas.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm no alpha. Mine is no alpha.
Hey everybody, I'm Dane Holland, and I'm a thirsty boy right now. And not in like the new age sense of, the new phrasing of thirsty. I need liquid. I need it in my mouth and in my body afterwards.
Gross.
Put it inside you.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer. Conveniently, I do have to pee.
Oh, why did I take a drink of water when he said it? Oh, I'm dumb. I should have given it some more time. Oh.
I am Marcus Whitaker, and I'm coming to you from the ether today. I am Electric Man, and that's what's happening.
You usually follow your name with I'm Electric Man, so you are really like in another universe right now.
Yes.
I'm Tiny, and I'm a good boy.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, no.
He is, though.
I didn't interrupt anybody today.
He deserves treat.
I can't. This wolf blanket that you now have on the wall of this room.
Listen.
It's distracting to me. I keep seeing it in my peripheral.
We all know
look at me.
Who the wolf is. And the wolf is always with us, always watching, listening now. As a sound dampener for the room, I decided to put a giant blanket with the image of a wolf staring me right in the face. And Tiny, it's behind you, and that's got to be a little unsettling.
No, it's good, because now it doesn't distract me.
Okay, good.
What?
Its eyes are so piercing.
Its eyes are pretty piercing.
Oh, yeah.
That's a legit blanket. Where did you get that?
I've had it for probably about 15 years, and it's been in the trunk of a car.
But animals love me, so
They
we're
do.
friends.
They do.
It's probably one of the most beautiful rugs I've ever seen.
Yeah. That's a very visual situation we got going on, but just so everyone knows, we're very happy with it.
We'll post a picture of it as you're listening.
Ooh, good idea.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah. Thanks for helping me run the social media site there.
No, like it can
really.
be in
you
the
just
podcast.
helped me.
It just pops up while they're listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I am going to put it on Twitter, though. Thank you.
So, okay, here's the thing.
Oh, no, wait.
We are these dudes. The dude that's thing.
This is Nerd It Through the Grapevine. It's a podcast where 4 best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. And as Marcus mentioned earlier, we are gathered together, although he is separate from us. We are trying to do a virtual meeting with him, and so far it's working well. Now that we're about 5 minutes into this thing.
You don't have to lie to these people. You know I'm force projecting right now.
Yeah, it's true.
True,
He's gonna die after this. Like, this is
This is his last hurrah. And
was it worth it?
and COVID is just inside of those AT-ATs. Just
Don't call the okay.
I
Pet
know.
peeve. I know this is going back to a later episode, of a former episode. Pet peeve of mine: AT-ATs being called AT-ATs. I hate it. I don't want it, and I don't want to hear it from you.
I second the motion.
I love.
Can we get a third?
Yeah, I like AT-AT.
Okay, thank you.
The motion carries.
Motion carries. Pass. You're out. Sorry.
But he was firing from him, you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, but now talk to me what you're going to say for the next 15
At least
minutes.
it didn't say at.
Oh, I'm going to make noise. I'm going to have to readjust myself. I've got it here.
It's a chaotic little second.
So, do you guys remember the movie that came out in the early 90s with Charlie Sheen? He was okay.
Baseball?
No, listen. It's...
I think you mean Emilio Estevez.
No. Wait for it.
My bad.
Wait for it. Where Charlie Sheen was a lawyer who was a hotshot, who was, you know, just going case after case, just trying to get the win. And he gets in a DUI, and a judge who doesn't like him because he was such a douche while he was in court said, "You're going to get the maximum penalty." And then that turned out to just be he gets 500 hours of community service that he has to, you know.
I do not remember this movie, but it sounds like an Emilio Estevez
I'm
flick.
already bored of the movie.
Well, it turns out the kicker is that 500 hours of community service he had to serve was with a ragtag team of children where Leonardo DiCaprio was the child Charlie Conway. This is the movie that never happened because those were the two other people that were the leaders of the Mighty Ducks. But instead, Emilio Estevez and Joshua Jackson played Coach Gordon Bombay and Charlie Conway.
The old Rochambeau.
Are you saying
The Mighty Ducks.
Charlie Sheen was supposed to be the coach
Yep.
and Leo DiCaprio was supposed to be one of the players?
He was supposed to be Charlie Conway, the main kid.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Wow.
So wait. Hold on.
I feel like a terrible person for interrupting you now.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
I
told you.
I apologize.
Because he had a little snippet of what I was going to talk about, but he didn't realize some of the things that I had seen.
I am sorry
I
that
thought-
I interrupted you because that blew my mind whole.
I thought you were saying there's a movie where Charlie Sheen goes to court and gets 500 hours of community service. And I was like, that's the dumbest sounding movie I've ever heard, but that's real life.
Yeah.
That's why he wasn't in the movie.
Maybe.
Probably.
Who knows?
What about Leo? Why wasn't he in it?
He got actually beat out for the part by...
He got beat up?
beat out
Oh.
by Joshua Jackson, the one who ended up actually, you know.
Being Charlie Conway. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's fascinating. Tell me more about the Mighty Ducks, please.
It was a 1990s Disney trilogy movie. They had the first one, the second one, the third one. They were literally 2 years apart.
The Mighty Ducks trilogy.
It
So
was
epic.
Everything's a
so-
trilogy, man.
Yeah, but you know, if the Mighty Ducks had stopped at just two movies, I think everything would have been all right. Because they went Mighty Ducks. Okay, they were this nobody team, had no talent, no drive, no anything. A little bit of hope and encouragement. Now you have, you know, talent. Sorry.
Michael's secret stuff, baby.
Yeah, just a little bit of that, you know. Hey, Mark, you got any more of that secret stuff?
So says the Daff.
But yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was a good, wholesome, you know, 90s Disney movie. It was good. Also had a lot of good music and stuff to it because it was jock jammed out the wazoo.
Oh, yeah.
So good on that. And then, you know, the second movie, you know, they went through a similar process, just getting their bearings in from, you know, hey, we've grown a lot as, you know, sportsmen or women. And because they had figure skaters that were women that were on their hockey team.
Was that on the first team as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Actually, it was one of the boys that was a figure skater. Connie was on the team originally. I don't remember how Kat got on there. It's been a minute since I've seen that one.
That was the second movie that she joined.
Yes.
Yeah, the first movie.
That's pretty impressive pulling out names like that, though. Like,
I know.
I
Well-
just remember it was about hockey, and I loved it as a kid.
I did watch D3 yesterday, so
D3 was an abomination, and he agrees with me, I think, on that.
Now, was the second one called just D2?
D2 the Mighty Ducks and D3 the Mighty Ducks. And
Okay.
D2 the Mighty Ducks, they had like this big success story where they were a, you know, kind of an inspirational team for the, you know, the whole Pee Wee kind of leagues and everything. And then they had people in the Junior Olympics to accept them as part of the team, along with X number of members from all over the United States.
The Bash Brothers.
Yep, that's where the Bash Brothers came in. And that's where at the very end of the movie that Kenan Thompson with his knuckle puck.
Oh yeah,
Oh, the knuckle puck. Flip
was
it up
Keenan?
sideways.
that
Yeah.
wasn't. No, hold
That was
on.
Kenan Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
That was
totally
Keenan.
Was it really?
Yes,
So
sir.
awesome.
Yeah, his name was Russ.
Youngman Keenan.
Oh, there was also Goldberg.
Yeah.
that
when
was
did
a
this movie
character.
come out?
The movie originally came out in 1992. The other one
That's
came
probably
out,
the last time I saw it.
1994 was the second one. If they never made the third one, I think it would be okay.
Well, I
Because
didn't.
I really wish it didn't exist, because the other two were like believable struggle triumphs, but then they go from being the most iconic team that's like a recreation of the whole miracle situation with hockey, and then you get into the third one when they're like, we're the best team in the world until they get to high school.
Well, I mean, I do agree that the third one was the weakest of the trilogy. But it still had a good message to it, because all three of these movies had a message. The first two was basically believe in yourself and you can achieve your dreams. The third one was watch your pride, because if you remember, Charlie was so prideful about winning and I'm a scorer, I don't play defense. And he learned to be humble, and he had to earn his captain spot back in the third one. So from that standpoint, not a bad movie. From a story standpoint, it was meh.
When was the last time you watched these?
Very recently.
Okay, good. Because I was like, man, my brain cannot even come close to remembering anything.
I've seen them on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I'm like, I've got to.
Now, I started just to kill some time earlier tonight, just put one of them on and just kind of let it like roll for a minute.
That's research, baby.
And let me tell you something. That's actually some good movieing right there.
Yeah.
But I liked the first one and the second one, and the third one I didn't care for, and that's okay because they're all directed by different directors.
All three of them?
All three of them, not the same one in either.
So the first one was successful enough to have a sequel come out 2 years later, and yet they changed directors. Anyway. I smell something
It's
corporate
Disney.
going on.
It's Disney, and then they recycle their children for everything.
Well, that's
So-
a weird phrase.
No,
That's
no.
a strange thing to hear.
Nah, I mean, literally, you look at a lot of these child stars, and the only one that I'm referencing here in case is, besides like thinking about the Lindsay Lohans and all those other ones like that have been through, Hollywood as a kid.
Mary and Kate Olsen.
Yes, that's another one. The guy that played Goldberg, who is actually, I think, in jail now for what were the charges again?
I'm pretty sure it was like meth.
Did he kill Screech
Like
in
in-
jail?
No, we remember Screech is dead.
No, they was in that
Right.
one movie that Screech made.
Oh, no.
His name is Sean Weiss, and Sean Weiss played Goldberg.
I thought he became like this epic snowboarder in the Olympics.
No, that's Sean White.
Yeah. I know.
White.
That's
White, not Weiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
Okay.
But my favorite one of the directors for it, also his name was Stephen Herrick, and Stephen Herrick was the director for Mr. Holland's Opus.
That's my last name.
And
What a good movie.
yes,
I've never seen it, and my name is
Oh
in it.
my
and
god.
Good.
Three
I
Musketeers.
prefer Dead Poets
I
Society,
watched
but-
Three
yeah.
Musketeers?
Three Musketeers and Mr. Holland's Opus. He directed those movies, and I liked them both.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that directed the first one?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. And the first one was the strongest of the Mighty Ducks movies?
In my opinion, yes. I think the second one was a little bit more fun, a little less serious, but it is what it is.
I think I've mentioned before I'm a sucker for a setup. So I think I enjoyed the first one most too because it set up their little story in their little world.
I mean, I enjoyed all three of them. I've been on this weird, 90s Disney movie kick. And how Austin spoke about they recycle the children's actors. They also do that with the adults, too, because the mom from Mighty Ducks, she was in several other movies that I've watched, like both Johnny Tsunami movies. By the way, she's kind of hot.
Oh, no.
Throwing that out there.
Well, she's of age. We've had those questions before.
No question there.
Was she just a mom in all of them?
Yeah.
Oh,
She was just
okay.
the mom. She was the mom of the main character in all of them.
Gotcha.
Something about cartoon moms, though, with that Fat butt.
Where
You're talking about Miss Incredible?
where did those come from?
Because it's pretty incredible.
I don't know.
Well, it is a theme. It is a very common theme.
I think that would be something that would be on the whole trope of some sort.
Jiggle physics.
What was it?
The Disney Pixar moms all having badonkadonks.
Why?
Like they put straight up dump trucks back there.
Disney Mamba Donkadonk.
Yeah,
The Disney
Trope of the day.
I guess it's just their
Cisco
signal.
seen it coming.
Yeah, he did.
She got dumps like a truck.
It's their signal of you see the silhouette of this character and you already know it's a mom. I guess so. Like, it's the only way to tell.
Hey, thick thighs save lives. That's
It's-
what I've
oh,
heard.
No,
Now she's wearing yellow gloves.
Dexter. What?
Sorry. Dexter's mom had a dump truck too.
She did, and that's not even that's not even like a 3D animated movie.
You're correct.
Doesn't matter.
She can use my Bunsen burner.
What does it mean, though? What does it
Do you
mean?
want to see my graduated cylinder?
I don't know. I don't understand.
And that's the end of my topic.
Chemistry class.
Put the icing on the cake there.
You knew Mighty Ducks would lead to Disney Pixar badonkadonks, and then Tiny making some references.
I don't know. I just sometimes follow where the force leads me.
Good.
Understood.
It surrounds us.
It penetrates
Inside all
us.
of us.
This is true. It happens.
Does a human centipede us? Because
And
it does connect.
now,
Speaking of the Human Centipede trilogy, that was also a trilogy.
please,
And in that one, the third one's the best.
Donks.
There were no good badonkadonks in those movies.
you could.
They were all real sad. They were all sad badonkadonks.
You couldn't tell where one badonkadonk began and another badonkadonk
But they
ended.
ate them like
Well, it's really
groceries.
just one giant badonkadonk at this point.
I watched that movie with Jenny. It's hard to tell where the butt ended and the mouth began.
I hope this somehow segues into your topic, Marcus.
Well, in a way, because y'all you was looking to the past like you typically do sometimes, which is awesome. I can't do that, so I have to stay with what's going on right now.
Hit me.
In the nerd universe.
Okay.
So I just want to talk about like all the stuff that's going on,
All of it?
or really mainly if y'all have heard any cool rumors or anything. I mean, obviously the big one we all just saw.
Well,
The Mandalorian
Has
season
Tiny-
finale.
I've not seen the finale.
Tiny.
Tiny.
Does that ruin your
It's
entire
okay.
topic? Or can
No,
we
because
deviate
we
from
have
it?
seen
Okay.
it,
Okay.
and he's on this podcast, so he's about to get spoiled. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to spoil it. What? But for those of you who have seen it, y'all understand the splash that it made.
Yes.
On nerd culture, and so yeah, like that's what's going on in that realm. I mean, I just don't know if y'all have heard anything else because we have mentioned the possibility of a Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah. Well, the biggest things happening that I know of are all the Star Wars shows that are going to be coming to
There's
Disney
that
Plus,
too. Yeah, they
which
just announced a bunch.
is such a. And then even after the season 2 finale of Mandalorian, like it announced another one, but we don't know if
did.
that's going to be the season of something or if it's going to be its own show. I'm not
Right, or
sure.
maybe just like a limited series, kind of like the
yeah.
Kenobi one.
Yeah, it could be just one little stretch of episodes. But I'm trying to think of which ones out of the list that they announced of all those different shows that
I
Disney's
wonder
gonna
why
come
they
out with.
didn't announce that one at their little investors meeting.
I don't know.
I think they were just waiting on that episode to
Yeah.
air before they announced it.
I think so. I think
because
they wanted,
they had already had that scene planned out.
right. I think so. I think they wanted that to drop at the end.
That's pretty cool.
And that was a really cool way to do it too. So Tiny, when you watch the season 2 finale of Mandalorian, stay for after the credits.
That's
There's
what
a
I've heard.
really cool scene
I will
that
be on
happens at the
lookout.
end of it. And from this point on, I need you to keep up with it so we can all talk about it.
Well, I have been, but see, the last several weeks, we've all watched it as a family.
We have. We didn't.
And
get to.
I was waiting on a call that never came.
Oh, now I feel
I
bad.
didn't. I don't mean to guilt trip y'all, but that's why I've not seen it.
Now I feel bad.
Well, if I would have known that, then I would have let you come over when I got home at 2 a.m. on Saturday morning. That's when we watched it. We got home from the show, and
I was just sitting there playing Skyrim.
I could probably still be sitting there playing Skyrim if Skyrim were Hades.
yeah.
I've got a problem.
Yes, he has put over 110 hours into that game, and he just started playing a couple weeks ago. I don't know, 3 weeks ago.
I think like 3.
Is it a month? I don't know.
It's been. I don't know. It all blends together whenever you're just escaping Tartarus.
Yes. I think, back to the topic before we go into another wormhole.
I did come across something nerdy adjacent, if
Okay.
that counts.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it counts.
So we all know what furries are.
Yes, I'm familiar.
So a group of furries
Yes.
was outside. I think it was like FurCon or
Okay,
something.
yeah.
Taking a little smoke break. They had their heads off, doing their thing. Car rolls up. Dude starts beating on his wife. 6 furries drag him out of the car and restrain this man till the police show up. I thought that was pretty amazing.
Fantastic.
I mean, they're a branch of nerds that most people don't realize that they're one of us.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they really are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they really are.
Yeah.
They're just people with
And
a
so
thing
they're
that
like
they
a
like to do.
vigilante group.
Yeah, it was like, one of the dudes was like a pink kangaroo, and
That's
he went ham on this dude, and I was like, yeah, man, you do that. That's
What if one
awesome.
of them's thing was like a furry bat? And, I mean, vigilante, furry, Batman. I'm just saying.
I was somewhere else when you said furry bat.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So was I.
'Cause you said what if
I'm
you
in-
said
'cause I'm
what
in
if
another
his
universe.
thing was a furry bat?
Ah, yes. Okay.
So,
well,
I'm sorry.
That
That was my
also
bad.
makes sense. So that has
No, that's
to do-
good. That's actually good. That's what I'm looking for, Tony.
It's news.
I'm looking
awesome.
for something off the wall.
I'm trying to think of like what's happening in nerd culture at this very moment.
Yes.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard all the biff going on with it?
I've seen something about it, but I don't know what's going on.
Does it
Is
have
just
to
buggy?
do that if it's like not PC or PS5, then it's going?
Well, they pulled it off off PSN for PlayStation
Yes.
4.
So what happened is, Cyberpunk 2077 is made by a company called CD Projekt Red, who made the Witcher series. And The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is one of the most popular games for, I don't know, for PlayStation, and I think it came out I know it's on PC. It's probably on Xbox then. It is. Okay.
It came out on 360.
Yeah, it sold an insane amount of copies. Everybody loves it. It's now a TV show on Netflix with a second season happening soon. But anyway, so that company...
See, there you go. Current events.
Current events, you're doing well. You're sending me to a good place.
Well, you're doing all the work for me, so that's
No,
good.
see, I knew you were going to do this to me because I love talking about things that I know about. And I don't know about much, but when it comes to nerd stuff, I do.
But I don't know much.
Yes.
So CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red made a game called Cyberpunk 2077. It is set in the future in 2077. And a cyberpunk world / that genre is like a futuristic dystopian kind of feel where technology has become kind of a symbiote with humanity. Would you say that that's a decent way of explaining the cyberpunk setting?
Yeah. Like humans have integrated technology into their bodies.
Yes, and minds and
things.
everything. Which we're moving that direction. Like it's coming. But
So do you
anyway.
make your own character?
Huh?
In Cyberpunk? You make your own character in Cyberpunk?
So in Cyberpunk, yeah, you can make your own character. You can customize your genitalia in ways to where there are 2 styles of penis, and there are 3 lengths, and there is only one vagina. Like you can't customize that. So
That's
they're just stuck. Yeah, it is. They're
That
stuck
is
with
sexist.
they're stuck with the one.
I'm boycotting.
And they're just as different as men's penises are
are.
from each other.
Yeah.
So,
Like
Are you being
rainbows and
serious right now?
symbols.
Like they actually put that in the game?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can. But
Why?
You can also choose to have your character. Well, I think just for a shock factor. But you can also just choose for your character just to not be naked, and only in the nude scenes they would show up in like boxers or underwear. But But anyway, so this game, it originated from a tabletop RPG.
Are you telling me there's points in the game to where I thought that might have been just the way your clothes fit you according to the way your wing was weighing, you know?
No, there's parts in the game where you're going to be nude.
So you have to choose what your game avatar's woo-dangy is going to look like?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. No, I know. Yeah.
Okay, see, this is
I
perfect.
just want to know, is an any an option? Because I've got an any.
No, I don't think so. Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is 2 belly buttons an option?
No, it's not. See, I know. It's very.
What about no
Exclusive.
belly button and a full grade number 3?
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look stuff up
I've got to
about that
get
now.
to the current news of what's happening with this game. Okay. So what's happening is it's taken them years from the point of them announcing this game coming out to the point of them actually releasing it. And once they had chosen a date, I don't even remember the original date they said that it was going to come out. It was being pushed back like almost week after week, like month after month.
Yeah.
They were having to push it back farther and farther because they're like, okay, we have it to where it's looking great on like high performing systems, aka PCs, like custom PCs with high grade, parts. But when it comes to the older generation of software, like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, it's not optimized for that yet. And everybody's losing their mind because they're like, give us this game. Give us this game. You promised this game. Give it to us. Like there are not thousands of other games they could be playing. They have to have this one and they have to have it now. So eventually, like CD Projekt Red was like, well, here, we decided we're going to put it out now. And they go through this phase called crunch to where all the employees are working round the clock days at a time trying to beat these like deadlines that they put on themselves for whatever reason. And it's just all the lashback from fans. Like there have been death threats from fans like to the creators of this game because it doesn't run well on a PS4 and even PS5 and Xbox Series
that
S
sounds pretty
and Series
reasonable.
X. Like, it's
I was just joking.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Kill
I just
your
can't
whole
tell. Since I'm out of
kill you and your
ether, I
family
can't
because
gauge your body
it's a
language
video game.
as well.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
I'm going to threaten your life because I forced you to do something that you wasn't ready to do.
Yeah.
And you did it, but it's not what I wanted because I'm impatient.
Yes.
So now you must die.
Yes.
That makes so much sense.
So much perfect sense. But it's the gaming community is so toxic with stuff like this because, I mean, should the company have said that a for sure month that they're coming out with the game, a year ahead of time, and they knew that they were still going to be pretty close to that? No. Like they should have just said coming like winter of, I don't know, 2020 or something. And then that way, I don't know, you got more leeway with that. But if you pick a month or pick an even like exact date and then you deviate from that, people are going to start to lose their mind. But you can do that calmly and understandingly, be upset about it, or you can go the route of, threatening lives over the situation. But I have the game.
I mean,
for
there's
PC.
always going to be those few people that are just too crazy for everybody else, and they're on the internet. I mean, it's going to happen. It's
Yes,
going to happen.
absolutely.
We just got to get used to that now.
And luckily, they're not the majority that go that far, but they are the ones that stand out, unfortunately.
So basically, their launch just completely backfired on them,
Dude,
like big time.
it was so bad that
After
like,
a long wait and anticipation for the game, their
Yes.
launch was all excited and all hyped, and then it just completely
so buggy
puttered out.
and like so many glitches. And like Tiny had mentioned, like this is unprecedented for a AAA game to be removed from the PlayStation Store and the Microsoft store.
Supposedly,
Xbox
they're not even giving refunds.
They are. Well, the CD Projekt Red is giving refunds to everybody that wants one right now. But
Wow.
it's up to, I believe Sony said that they would be issuing them. I know with Steam, if you play it for how many?
2 hours.
2 hours. If you play a game for over 2 hours, then you've gone past your refundability like stage. But on the PlayStation Store, I think they're doing refunds, but they went ahead and pulled it off of the store. Like you can't purchase it now. I mean, you can purchase a physical copy and play it. But you could not purchase it from the digital store right now because it was so botched and so many people were demanding refunds on it. They're like, okay, we don't want anyone purchasing this if all they're going to do is turn around and ask for a refund. But I think most outlets are offering a refund to where they normally wouldn't because of how well known this botched situation is. And
That's
yeah,
crazy,
it's one of those weird.
That can't be good for that
unprecedented
company
things.
either.
No, not at
Like
all.
they've been working on this game for
But
so long.
They have. But the thing is, it's also, that's the amazing thing about games now, is a game can come out and be terrible and 3 months from now be incredible. No Man's Sky situation was very similar to this Cyberpunk 2077 one because they had promised all kinds of things for the game, like multiplayer you were gonna be able to roam the universe and discover all these new planets with your friends online. And then me and the Wolf, actually, we got the game day one because our goal was to find each other in this expansive universe of computer-generated planets. So, like, you were always going to find these randomly generated planets with randomly generated animals, and they were all unique from one another, which is so exciting. Like, the idea of that is so cool, but once we got into the game, we arrived at the same planet as each other, and the other person didn't exist. Like, he wasn't there. So multiplayer was not a thing. Like, they completely lied about it. It wasn't a feature whatsoever. And that was the one reason that we got the game. And that killed that game for a while, but they kept working on it because with all games being connected online in one way or another, like these companies can keep working on a game that's been put out and keep improving it until it gets to a point where you do get what you paid for, which is a crappy way to run a business.
Wait, that's been like 3 years ago that game came, or four even.
Probably even longer than that, but it's to a point now that game is a really good game. But I was so soured by it from that first experience that I haven't played it again. But the Wolf has played it since, and he likes it a lot.
Man, even For Honor didn't get that bad.
Dude, For Honor was trash.
Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, it was bad, but at least it never got pulled from the shelves. Probably should have been.
But they sell it for like $3 a copy.
Good.
Do you know who bought it for $3 and kept it too long to return it? This guy.
Did.
Because I kept forgetting to go back to GameStop.
You know, something else that's going on right now is a lot of the movies, like I know Wonder Woman, the whole Wonder Woman movie is going to be released on streaming. Christopher Nolan's new movie is going to be streamed. The new Dune movie is even possibly going to be streamed. And I think the filmmaker is actually suing, and this could be fake news. I haven't researched it myself, but I've just heard that some of these big directors are actually going to turn around and sue the production companies for forcing them to stream their movies rather than put them in theaters, and because there's no way for the crew and stuff to make their money back if everybody's just going to be able to stream these big blockbuster movies from their couch.
And most of these are with HBO Max, right? I think that's the one.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And if HBO Max turns out to be, I think Disney Plus tried it. I think Disney Plus was the toe in the water, but I don't think that having a subscription service that has you pay a premium price just to watch a movie for limited access on there is going to be a successful thing. I think that tanked with Mulan on Disney Plus.
They made a lot of money, and with theaters being down, it kind of worked. But I mean, we watched it. I don't think we paid for it.
No,
Please don't call the cops. Thank you.
Was it like a rental fee type situation?
It was like what, $30
Yeah.
to rent it.
Ooh.
So even though if Disney can make their money off of it, there's still somewhere in the chain someone's getting screwed. Maybe it's
Yes.
like a local movie theater, or just anything like that. I just think there's a lot of things being shaken up in the Hollywood scene. And
I just
in,
wonder how movie
movies and all
theaters
that.
haven't already put money back for situations like these, because, I mean, hell, they're charging you $20 for a thing of popcorn. You'd think that they'd be able to put a little back,
Yeah. Well, that's how movie theaters make their money, mostly.
Yeah.
Because they have to pay
Snacks.
the rights to watch to even show these movies, and it's all concessions, all concessions. And Yeah, even if like there were some theaters that had opened back up while most things were being shut down, but they weren't doing concessions, so that way people weren't going to be eating in the theater, and taking off their mask to eat and drink while they're watching a movie. But then they can't sustain themselves as a business with that because they're not making the money they're putting into it with the ticket sales. And
You know what they need to do? They need to just put a bar. They need to start putting a bar. Who doesn't want to get a little
like a boozy drink bar?
Yes.
Some of them do. Some really nice theaters have those. Marcus, thank you for keeping us up to date with things that we knew but we didn't realize were happening now. Because I think we're over flooded with so much news for all the stuff that we love that we forget that's happening in the now, and it just becomes a conversation instead of like, oh, this is news.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of felt like, I mean, I like the nostalgia angle, but then, every now and then it's like, hey, there's some stuff going on in the nerd world, y'all, that we haven't talked about, and we need to.
A lot. Yeah, we do focus a lot on the past portion of present and future. But, hey, what are you going to do?
Well, I mean, I guess it's just harder to bring up-to-date news with a podcast.
Yeah, with the format that we have, yeah. But
But that was my attempt.
No,
that
you
was
did
my
great.
attempt at being like
You're wonderful.
an internet
Enjoyed
news
it.
Sorry I
anchor.
spoke so much in it. Yeah, no, you did.
No, it's great.
Wish you had a green screen behind you, telling us the weather, too.
Now back to you, Jim.
Oh, well, I wouldn't have the weather on it. I would have something much different.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, now my fantasy's been tickled.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know how to do that on Zoom.
What, tickle a fantasy?
Figure it out.
I think there's an entire website dedicated to people tickling your fantasies over Zoom meeting.
Premium turbines.
What?
Exclusive turbines. It's a website. We're not sponsored, so we can't say it.
Exclusive turbines. I like that.
Yeah.
You were too witty for both of us in the moment. Took me
Well,
a
like I
second.
said, they're not a sponsor, so I'm
Right.
not going to say that.
No, not going to say their name.
Is your van still broken down?
No, it works.
Okay, because you could always start a Lonely Vans for it.
I mean, hey.
Tiny, talk about your stuff. Whoa, Tiny.
No.
No, hold on.
Who's there?
Tiny, I got to take that back. Tiny,
Okay.
talk about your topic.
That's what I was going to do.
Okay. Whew.
Okay. I'm gonna put my phone on the table.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna put it on this pillow, so
Yes.
it's not on the table,
That-
so I don't get yelled at
That's
again.
the phone pillow. That's so that way it doesn't vibrate every
Oh,
microphone.
it keeps turning it. Okay, so I have discovered a new author. His name is Joseph Hillstrom King, son of the illustrious Stephen King.
Oh.
My favorite author of all time. Sadly to say, possibly my second favorite author now. And it hurts me to even consider that position change because his son is fantastic. I've read 3 out of 5 of his books, all of them great. He's written Heart-Shaped Box, The Fireman, Lock and Key, which is a popular show people are watching now, but also a series of comic books. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard they're great. The really exciting thing is, and the one that I'm currently in the middle of, he actually ties into his father's universe. So it kind of brought Stephen King into the Joe Hill verse, and it was epic, and it makes me want to talk like this now because it was done real sexy like.
Hold on a minute.
Hold on. Marcus
Hold on.
just put the Death Star behind him.
Whoa.
We didn't.
Nice.
You did it. Oh man. Anyway, thank you, Marcus.
I mean that's pretty good.
That's kind of like a nerdgasm situation for you.
It really
With your
was.
favorite author and the author you're currently reading fusing together.
Yes. He mentioned
Do you feel proud of
Midworld.
him?
Oh, dude, I was so proud. I mean, it was done in such a really cool way. And I got to thinking, if Joe Hill becomes my favorite, I think Stephen King would understand. Not that he knows me personally, though. I mean, my email is zent67@gmail.com. Hit me up, Stephen. We'll be bros. We might even go get a beer.
Steven.
I mean, I'll even let you call me by my real name. So, anyway, so I feel like if Joe does become my favorite, he'll be okay with that because generally parents want their children to succeed and do better than them. So
A good parent would.
Yeah, a good parent would. And so if he usurped the first place in like his number one fan, not the Misery kind of number one fan, because no, I'm not stalkery.
Yet. You're getting there.
But if that happens, I think he'd be okay with it because, Stephen King will still be my boy. He would be number 2.
How close is Joe coming to being your favorite?
It's like neck and neck, man. Like their noses keep like bumping out. And I'm like, well, I love The Dark Tower, but man, this Nosferatu is really good. Oh my God, he mentions Midworld. He mentioned Pennywise. What are we going to do? Plus the fireman was something crazy and different. And I started reading it at the beginning of COVID, so I might have started the pandemic. What's going on here? What's going on with my life? By the way, I'm sorry if I was the cause.
So, well, I mean, the amount of works that Joe Hill has come out with is...
That was louder than I expected it to be.
You ripping some fat vape is louder than you expected it to be? You vape all day, every day. You know how loud it is.
I'd like to let everybody out in the listening world know that the room now smells like apple cinnamon.
It's delicious. What was I talking about? Joe Hill and the amount of books that he's written.
Yes.
Much smaller sample size than Stephen King.
Very true.
And yet he's still making his way this close to Stephen.
Yeah. Well, like you can see the influences from his father's writing style in his because, well, father and son, and I'm sure that Joe has read all of his father's works, if not most of. So you can see the influences in their very similar writing style, but he has his own things in there too.
Gotcha.
And like he doesn't use some of the like Stephen, let's get real here. I love you, but please stop with the really bad jokes that your characters find hilarious because it's the most annoying thing you do. And Joe doesn't do that, and I love him for that. And Stephen, if you want me to like help you a little bit with stuff like that, make some better jokes, hit me up at zen67 at gmail.com.
Zen.
That's ZENT 67 at gmail.com. That's my real Gmail. So please, no genital pics.
Too late. Already sent him.
Well,
I thought that was what that was. Was that not what that was for?
No.
Well, you mentioned Stephen's characters, like sometimes when he tries to insert humor into certain things, and it just does not click at all. And that's actually what got me to stop reading The Dark Tower, like the second book, at the beginning of it, the first couple chapters. It's
like sometimes he tries too hard, like in It. I can't remember the character's name because I've read so many books. There's one he's in there for comedic relief, and that's written very well. But when the other characters who are not for comedic relief go to tell a joke, it's always horrendous. And the other main character just acts like it's the funniest thing they've ever heard. And it hurts me to my core.
Well, wasn't Richie the...
Richie, yes, thank you. His name was Richie. He was very well written, very good comedic relief.
It's just cringe. It's just very cringy.
Yeah.
And
so he can do it well.
Can't handle that.
But sometimes it feels forced.
What, with Stephen or with Joe?
Stephen.
So Joe does it more successfully.
Joe, I've not even seen comedic relief. It's just dark and gritty.
Oh, really? Not even a little bit of light here and there?
Not that I've noticed. But, I mean, it's so easy to get so immersed in the book that you don't even care.
Oh, okay. That's impressive then.
Yeah.
What is that behind you? Is that the Sith throne?
Marcus is really showing off with his technical ability through Zoom right now.
I've got a wolf, though. So
who wouldn't want to sit on the Sith throne?
Joe Hill's works are now becoming TV shows, correct?
Yes, TV shows, and I think a movie, because I think Horns was a movie.
Yes.
And that's one of his novels.
Wait, with Daniel Radcliffe?
Yes.
I don't know. I've not seen it.
Yes.
Love Horns.
Yeah, because I'd had the book on one of my Amazon lists for books to get, even before you mentioned Joe Hill to me, months ago.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie, and then I was like, but where have I heard of this concept before? And then I was just randomly strolling through my my list on Amazon, and I was like, oh, that's what this is.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. So, but I still want to read it because it's probably much better than the movie, because the movie wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. It was just so wow. It was so weird.
Well, then he's following in the footsteps of his father because, as we discussed in a previous podcast,
Yes.
most of Steven's movies are crap. And I know that's not your fault, Steven.
No.
But still hit me up. We'll go hang out. We'll be bros.
You know what you guys could do together? You could go out and get some coffee.
We totally could.
You know why I wanted to say that? It was a segue into my topic.
Like
Right.
with handlebars?
Yeah, otherwise it'd be a hoverboard.
Yeah, Paul Blart.
Segue. Yeah. Oh,
Me and
yeah.
Paul
Oh, I'm
blarted
sure.
into your topic.
I'm
That's
pretty
awesome.
sure we've made this joke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anytime I say the word segue?
Yeah, there's that, and this is our ASMR episode. There's the two most played out jokes that I do. So
Why have you done this?
because you hate both of them,
I hate him so much. I love him.
it makes me giggle.
Okay, I'm going to talk about coffee. Marcus. Now's the portion where Marcus decided to change his Zoom background to 2 images of very strange male penises. And we're back. Oh, I'm gonna be haunted by that. We all drink coffee? Yeah, all the time, every day. How our days begin.
If it's not more than once a day, it's a sad day.
It's a bad time, which is not even a character trait, and a lot of people, for some reason, believe it is. Like, oh, I love coffee. That's unique. No, everyone loves it, and in America, we have the most people drinking it in the world. Although I believe it's Finland, the Finnish people who have the most coffee drinkers per capita, according to research. Anyway, so the beginnings of coffee is what I want to talk about, because there were 3 really interesting little like stories of how coffee began that have been like told throughout the years. And the first one is about a man named Omar, and he was a prayer healer at Mecca, and he was Moroccan. And he was sent away from Mecca, like cast away, to a cave. And in that cave, he began starving because he had been there for so long. And just outside the cave, there were these bushes with some berries on them. And he decided to take the berries and chew on them because he just needed some kind of sustenance because he was dying. But as he chewed the berries, they were too bitter. So he roasted them in a fire, but then they came too hard, and then he boiled them to make them softer, and it just so happens he made coffee, and that
What a
coffee
genius.
regenerated him and helped him live for days beyond his point of starvation just from the coffee. And stories got out about how this happened, how this miracle happened because of coffee, this miracle liquid. And it got around so much so that the Mecca said, come back to us, and he became a saint.
Wait, so what's his name?
Omar?
Saint Omar of Caffeine.
Yes, Saint Omar of Caffeine. So I thought that was a neat maybe. It's a maybe. It's something that's been passed down and told.
Give him your email address.
I
Maybe
don't
he'll
think I'm
contact you
going
and
to.
confirm.
I don't think I will, Tiny.
Was it
They
Dane
have your-
Holland at 73@gmail.com?
I don't think there are 2 @s when it comes to email addresses, but you can try.
Well, one is the @ symbol. The other
Yes.
is the word @
Yes.
Yeah, like
AT-AT, shut up.
Full circle.
The second little story that I thought was neat was there was an Ethiopian goat herder named Kaldi, and his goats started eating these berries while he was out herding them, and all this, not herding with a T, herding like HERD,
gotcha.
like herding.
Like
he
with
he doesn't
dogs.
hurt. He doesn't hurt his goats. If he did that, I would not be sharing the story. I love goats. I don't want them to be herded.
Just chew some coffee beans and hurt your
like
animals.
corrals.
Corrals, like golden, like a golden. No, just a regular.
Coral. Corrals.
Yes, corrals. Anyway,
Corrals.
so Kaldi noticed his goats eating these berries, and then all of a sudden started they started just kind of freaking out and being super energetic and jumping all over the place and bouncing around. And he decided that he wanted to chew on one of those things, not one of the goats, one of the berries. And all of a sudden, he started getting a whole bunch of energy and could think really quickly and was very excited. So he brought the berries to a monastery, and there was a monk there that was like, no, there's no way this can be good. If this is altering the way that you think and the way you act, like there's no way this can be good. So the monk took all of the berries that he brought to them and he threw them in a fire. And the aroma from the smell of them coming off of these berries from them being on fire, all the rest of the monks in the monastery smelled it and were like, oh man, that smells good. What is this? So then they show up and they love the smell of it so much that they rake the berries out of the fire. And at that point, they had kind of burned away the outer shell of it. And on the inside was the coffee, what we call a bean. And when they raked them out, they ground them up and they boiled them and then they made coffee. So there's another story about how coffee began. And I like that because
so what
it's
you're
a story.
Telling me is that coffee has mythical origins?
Yes. Mythical origins.
Of course it does.
Yes.
Of course it does.
If you want to hear my favorite one, here it comes. It was Muhammad's birthday. And in the religion of Islam, they find wine to be sacrilegious, so they can't drink. So the archangel Gabriel came down from heaven and brought them coffee to have them something to drink in celebration of Muhammad's birthday. And I think that's my favorite one because there have been many days to where I've taken that first sip of coffee and went, "Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you."
I do have one question.
And I probably don't have the answer.
How do you explain civet coffee?
Who?
Civet
like
coffee.
Honda Civic coffee.
No, civet, like the cat.
Oh,
C-I-V-E-T.
like the Capiluac?
Yeah, Capiluac. How do you explain that?
Is that the doo-doo coffee?
That's the doo-doo coffee.
I'm going to get to doo-doo coffee.
Okay, then I'm going to shut up.
No. Because Civic like that coffee it's very expensive because it's hard to come by.
I mean, what I'm saying is who looks at the poop of the civet after it's ingested coffee beans and goes, you know what? I'm going to make a hot beverage out of that and put it inside of my body.
Well, that's what's interesting. Like, we all call them coffee beans. They've been called coffee beans for as long as I can remember. But they're not beans. They're seeds from a fruit that looks like a cherry. Like, so we're drinking fruit juice, not bean juice. We're drinking fruit juice when we drink coffee.
My mind is
Does that
expanded
freak your
yet
bean
again.
a little bit?
Man,
Does that freak your little brain seed? Your little
Flick
brain
my
fruit
bean,
seed?
bro.
I got Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored cream to go inside of my...
Fruit juice. It's brown. It's hot brown fruit juice.
That doesn't...
Coffee
Fruit seed
is
juice.
Is yes.
seed juice.
Coffee is hot brown fruit seed juice.
I'm going to go home and just drink a hot cup of seed.
That's a. Why?
That's what you said.
What? It isn't.
Is it,
You said it was a seed.
I added hot brown.
is it weird that I pictured
Marcus
his
could not
dad?
shake his head no anymore, any harder than that without his headphones flying off of his head. So there's one credible story, not incredible, just credible, and it's more boring. It's just that like coffee was imported, like the coffee seeds were imported from Ethiopia to Yemen, and that's where they went from there to the English. That's boring. I don't like that one. I like it coming down from the heavens because there was a birthday party that needed to be had. That just makes a whole lot more sense to me than the other part.
So I heard, I don't know how true this is. I don't know if y'all know.
It's very
that
true.
We drink coffee in America here a lot because during the tariff or whatever, like back during the Revolution, because a lot of people in England drank tea, but then there was like the boycott on tea.
Yes.
And then
There was
that's why we started drinking coffee so much.
That is actually my cool fact number 4 on my list that I got according to beanpoet.com, where I found a list of a bunch of neat facts about coffee that I pulled 8 of them from it. But yeah, that's number 4.
I stole one from you.
You did really well. And then Tiny stole one with the poop coffee.
They also do it with elephants.
See, you scratch my back, I'll
That's the one I'm
scratch
going
yours.
to talk about, Tiny. So you guys already know all this stuff. What am I telling you for? But so yeah, no, we'll start with number 4 on my list. I'm going to run through these pretty quickly because we got to end this thing. So at number 4, yeah, in 1773, whenever the British had they began the tea tax. That's when the Boston Tea Party had happened because of all that. And then it became unpatriotic to drink tea because of that taxation that the British put on it. So everybody switched to coffee in America because they didn't want to deal with the British tax on tea. So that sparked it up, and it never went back because now, in England, it's just as common for them to drink tea as it is for us to drink coffee. And that's why, because of that tea tax that they did in 1773. So, very interesting. Muy interesante. I don't know if muy is the word to use them for the mucho. No, that can't be right. All I know is interesante, and I like the way it comes off my mouth. So, the number 1 of my cool facts from beanpoet.com, I started with number 4, but here's the number 1 on my list. The first webcam ever to be watched, it was filming a coffee pot brewing in a break room at this one business because the coffee brewed so fast that nobody could really get to it to get a fresh cup before it was already starting to go bad. So they put a camera up to film the coffee pot, and the people working there would have it on their computer screens to where they could see it making coffee. And whenever it finished is whenever they knew that they could go get coffee from it. And then they
true addict.
Yeah, this is a true thing. And they put it on the web, like to where other people could watch it. And it got so popular that whenever that coffee machine eventually broke, it costed them like $100, like whenever they bought it. And because it was, business grade or whatever. What is that called?
Bun.
Industrial grade.
Yeah, but one of them bun coffee makers.
Yeah, the nice ones. But it sold on eBay for $4,800. Like because
Wow.
Yeah, because it's like legendary. And then in Japan, there's this place with a spa that has a pool of coffee that you can like bathe in
I've
to
heard of that.
rejuvenate your body and give caffeine to the skin. Because there's a lot of like lotions and stuff that have caffeine in it, right? And a lot of shampoos and stuff that caffeine's good for your stuff on your outsides.
Absolutely
Yeah.
love to have a coffee bath.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be tempted to drink it?
No, because I'm going to doo-doo
people
in it.
pee in that.
Oh, yeah, I know, but just a little bit, right?
A little bit of pee or drink
No.
a little bit.
No. The smell of the coffee in the coffee pool.
No, it's going to run in my orifices.
Yes.
And I don't want that in my taste.
But I think we're all to the point where we're going to wanna, if you're in a pool of coffee, you're going to think, I want a sip. I just want a little sip. And yeah, there might be pee-pee in it. And if Austin's in it, yeah, there might be poo-poo in it.
You'd never see either.
You wouldn't see either.
Well, see,
It's all hot brown liquid to me.
yeah, but most people don't have bidets like we do. So it gonna come in contact with that leather bagel and slough some off. And now you're gonna put that in your face hole and send it to your stomach bucket. And I don't like
And then you're going to poop because coffee is a laxative.
it's cyclical and I hate it.
So I did not say that I would drink it. I said you're going to think, I would like a sip, but you're not going to do it. Anyway, moving on from now a poo-poo pee-pee coffee pool.
It's just farts and nerd stuff.
That's all it is. Number 3 was the one Tiny mentioned earlier. It's called black ivory coffee. It's where elephants eat those cherry-looking fruits, and the casings of those fruits are absorbed in their stomach, and they poop out the seeds, which are the coffee quote-unquote beans. And whenever coffee is made from these elephant poop coffee beans, it's $50 a cup per cup of coffee because it's so like rare and a delicacy and gross as it could possibly
We
be.
should try this with horses.
Why?
We could make a lot of money. But the only
Is it worth it?
probably. I mean,
Do we have to drink it?
no. I'm not drinking
You're
it.
not
I'm
drinking
just
it?
selling
Okay.
it.
All right. I'm just making sure. So you're not going to try the product?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, gotcha. But we may make a spa pool with some coffee that everybody wants to drink but can't.
Pool and coffee pot.
Number 5 on this list of 8 things that I'm going to get through within the next hour. Only Hawaii and Puerto Rico produce coffee in the U.S.
Puerto Rico
Yes. So one state and one territory?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's technically
Province?
called?
Yes.
Providence. Canada has territories.
No,
True.
province.
Puerto Rico is a province.
One real
province.
state and one almost state.
Yeah, one might as well be state.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, in the U.S., that's the only 2 places that actually produce the coffee seed. It's so weird calling it seed now and all this, but I'm probably still going to call it a bean. Another neat one, number 6. Maxwell House got a rabbi to classify coffee as a fruit so it would be kosher. For the Jewish religion, because beans are not kosher. Because he was like, no, you don't understand. Everyone calls it a bean because it's brown and it kind of looks like a bean, but it's actually a fruit seed. So coffee's a fruit. And they said, you know what? You're right. We can drink this. I thought that was neat. Wasn't
Not
that
all
neat?
heroes wear capes.
No.
Wait, wait.
Some of them wear yarmulkes.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Did he or did he not have a cape?
I don't know.
Shout out to my buddy Ethan. He's Jewish.
Good. A robe. Yeah, probably. Ooh, speaking of robes, cappuccinos. Do you know where the name cappuccino came from? No one? No
Mexican
one.
hat.
No. Well, no. It's from a Catholic friar. Like Catholic friars would wear these brown robes with these kind of pointy hats, and kids would like yell at them as they walked by. And they would yell and call them cappuccino because it means little hood. So it was like this derogatory thing for kids to yell at these Catholic friars calling them cappuccinos. So I thought that was pretty funny. Like something the kids used to yell at these guys. Now we drink it all the time. They think that it's from either the color of the like being a dark brown like robe, or how cappuccinos can sometimes have that kind of like the tip of it, the frothy part of it, right? Cappuccinos have froth.
That'd be dangerous, though, putting a robe on a fryer because of how hot the oil gets.
Let's move on to number 7, the final of the list of 8, because I skipped around. In the 1800s, there was a French novelist. Ooh, boy. Hold on. Here we get it.
name.
This is getting it now. Henri de Balzac. Okay, that last name's real. Yeah.
Try it with the accent. It sounds pretty.
Henri de Balzac.
Yeah, thank you. Done.
de Balzac.
Did it. He straight up ate coffee grounds to fuel his writing, and it equated to about 50 cups of coffee a day.
Jesus.
So he's sitting at his desk with his, I don't know, fountain pen. Do you have 1800s? Feather pen, fountain pen. And so he's just sitting there writing with one hand and just grabbing handfuls of coffee grounds and just shoving them in his mouth while he's eating that
Not
and
that
writing.
I advocate drug use,
But that's basically
but at
drug
that
use.
point, why don't you just do meth?
I mean, you might as well.
I mean-
50 cups of coffee a day equated to the amount of grounds eaten. Bad time. That's a bad time. But you know what a good time is? Whenever we end the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Nerd It Through the Grapevine. I'd never say the name of the podcast at the end part. Why did I do it this time? That's okay. Keep listening to us on Spotify, iTunes. If you want to, and you're on iTunes, you could even give us a rating and a review. That would be cool. 5 stars are neat. I think it's a 5-star system. I don't know. Whatever the most are, gimme. And you can listen to Nightmare Town and
Haunt Her, I Barely Know Her.
yes, that's a podcast that you will be appearing on soon.
I will be. It'll be a few weeks.
Yeah,
You'll hear
let
me
you,
then.
Yeah, we'll let you know again when he's going to be on, because that'll be very exciting for everybody to listen to them and get to hear our Shazam on another podcast. Very cool.
Traitor.
Go, yeah. Thank you. And yeah, go on Twitter. Check us out at Nerd Grapevine. Go to Instagram and find us there at the same. And Marcus, when life gives you grapes,
Take them with you to the ether and use them as meditation stones.
I like this. I could really.
Plus,
meditate.
remember, I've tainted this because
You've done
remember
what to your taint? Hold on, you cut out. You've done what to your taint?
Don't hit stop. Don't hit stop. Don't hit stop. Don't.